Well, welcome back to the show. This is Tech Insights, and my name is Samuel Ugochukwu. Right now, I have Chinenye Mba here with me. She is a content creator who is good at what she does, and she is the content lead for Super Team NG Abia State, Nigeria. Of course, we're looking at tech in non-tech in tech, the conversation around content creation in tech and what it all entails. Hello, Chinenye, good to have you join us on the show.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be on Tech Insights?
Feels good.
You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Is that part of the content and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, let's get straight into the conversation. We're looking at non-tech in tech and content, the place of content creation in tech. But let's start from your story. How did you get into content creation? How did you begin content creation? What inspired you to go into the field of content creation?
Well, I would say that, I've always loved to be behind the camera. So it started as a play, something I enjoy doing, more like a hobby. Yeah, I meant a hobby. And so I would always take pictures, do videos, and sometime along the line, I realized that it was something people do and then make money from it online, right? So I thought, goodness me, if this is something I love and something that would also fetch me the money, why shouldn't I take this seriously?
So how long, when did you actually discover that content creation is a thing that you can actually go? How many years have you been in that?
Oh, I would say 1 year. 1 year of consistency, 1 year of gaining that knowledge that this is actually something I want to dive into it, because I could have counted some other months back, or probably a year too, but then I don't want to make that count because I was just doing it for the fun of it. Yeah.
And then you discover that it's actually something you can leverage on as a skill.
Absolutely.
So let's bring it home and talk about in tech, creating content for tech brands and all of that. What's the difference between the normal content that people do, the TikTok content, and then content creation in tech? What's the difference?
Different. Well, I wouldn't say there's a difference. When we're talking about content, basically it could be writing, that's the blogging aspect of it, or the video content creation, that's a visual content.
You do more of visual content.
Okay.
Right? You do more visual content.
I do.
what's it all about in the tech space, like talking about visual content and videos?
Okay, if I'm to relate this to tech, I think it is more of bringing that knowledge of content creation, that knowledge of video editing into the Web3 space. Right there, you use the basic knowledge. I think you need that technical knowledge this time
I was
around.
going to come to that question of technical knowledge, because for you to create, I've seen you create content for blockchain brands, selling their products and all of that. Someone that doesn't have a technical background, how does it feel getting to relate with this content and being able to tell the story and pass the information?
Well.
Because we're talking about non-tech in tech. Content creation is a role that people that are not non-technical people can take up in the tech space. So how do they balance getting that basic technical knowledge to create content for tech brands?
All right. I'll start with saying this. I'm actually new to this whole Web3 space. Yeah. So I wouldn't say for sure that I'm actually a professional in that aspect, in that field. Yeah. And so you do not necessarily need to be a professional. You don't need to have that technical knowledge. I think the basics will do. You understanding what terminologies like blockchain means, what DeFi means, those little. So I started from there. And so I think you just need that basic knowledge, right? What are these trends? What are these terminologies? These jargons that are really familiar in this industry.
Because in your course of creation, you are going to come across these buzzwords. You're going to be using these buzzwords, and you need to really understand to be able to communicate properly, right?
Yeah. So the knowledge, that basic knowledge, is enough for anyone to start. It's totally enough. You don't need to have this full knowledge of cryptocurrency and the rest of them. Those are like really too much. Or even coding. I mean, we're going too far already.
Well,
just have the basic knowledge of what these terminologies are. And then when a client comes to you, like, okay, I want you to promote this product of ours, then that's where you can go the length of researching about the product, understanding what it is.
It's depending on the project you're working on. That will depend how deep you will have to go into the technical basis of the project.
That's just it. That's
so
just
I know that some projects are more deep than others. Some you may not need to really go deep and do all the research, but some you will need to get all the technical terms right.
Yeah. There's this particular project I worked on some time ago, the votes. Yeah. So when I was going about that particular project, I mean, this is someone that is new to these things. I had to like Google almost all of the words I found in the instructions. I mean, the instructional material.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I really flow with this thing here? I almost gave up because I saw too many terms that I was not familiar with. But then I thank God for AI these days. When they simplify them.
I was going to come to that.
Okay.
I was going to come to that, but finish your statement.
So I went there, simplified terms, and then gained understanding of what the project was all about. And now I think this is where this part of being concise and using simple terms matters.
Right.
Now, you as a content creator, you as a visual content creator in this tech industry, you do not necessarily need to, utilize those jargons when you're putting out your content. I think that is what differentiates you from maybe a regular content creator. Right. This time, you're not creating content the usual way. You're not just creating it to appeal to people, but you're trying to send or pass a message.
So it's more like educative content, not just fun content.
Absolutely.
But where's the place of balance between, because in the world of today, humor sells more. So, and brands, they try to add humor to whatever content that they are putting out there. So what's the place of, while trying to just be all educative, what's the place of bringing in humor and fun in content for tech?
Why that is a bit
so you can do all the dance videos and you are still trying to promote a tech brand and all of that. So
yeah, I think it boils down to what you're promoting.
Exactly.
There are certain products that, to me, if you ask me, I don't think there's a need for humor. There are certain products that, just looking at it, it's looking serious already, and so you're not actually coming out seriously. You're not like looking that serious, but then you would try as much as possible to not take too much of time in trying to entertain your audience.
Forget and make sure you don't forget the core of what you're putting out.
Yeah.
What you're trying to educate and pass information.
And I think this sort of content are usually time bound too.
All right.
So most of them give you a time frame. They're like, okay, you should do 1 minute, and you have too much to say, too much to communicate. So there may not be a need for drama or for entertainment. Yeah, you just want to go straight to the point. But then there are certain products that at the end of the day may demand that.
Let's come to, I was going to bring that conversation up, the place of artificial intelligence. How are you able to use AI as a tool? How are you able to use AI tools to be more efficient and productive in your work as a content creator?
Ooh, okay. It's the prompts. I think that's the key word.
So I saw one of your videos actually. I saw one of your videos where you were talking about this particular GPT and how you can use it. And it's also amazing how you were able to strategically give the prompt and then you got the result you needed. So is it about prompting? How do you go about it, and how do you use it as a video editor you are and as a content creator? All
right. Yesterday I was going to do this script.
By the way, Chinenye came here. She came here today. She had so much on her desk. You need to know what it takes to do content creation, video editing, and all of that. She had to come in here with some work on her hands. And few minutes to this show, she was actually trying to meet up with a deadline. And that's how tasking and demanding the job can be. But we'll get to that. So finish up on the AI. How you
okay. So now it is about the prompt. Yeah. You need to understand what you want this AI to do. Now, AI, artificial intelligence, as we know, it is a machine. Yeah, it is not magic, right? There are people working behind this machine to like give us the results, give us that output that we desire. And so it's been accustomed to work. I think it's been accustomed to work in that way that you like make it work for you.
So a lot of people have said that AI is garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
What you give.
Right.
So,
that's what I'm saying.
So how do you know? Let's say, okay, you want to make a video, a content for Tech Insights, and then you want to make a content for Tech Insight. So how can you go about that with just give me an example of a prompt you can put into GPT.
I was going to talk about this story, yesterday's experience. Yeah, so I sent in this prompt that, okay, I want to work on this script. This is the product. It's about this, that. Could you like give me a rough detail or a rough idea I could work on to produce what I want? And the outcome came out and it was terrible. So what I did was I had to pick one of my script, a script that I wrote myself. Well arranged and all that, and so I typed in everything. I like copied it from my doc,
everything that
pasted it there, and then I told AI, okay, I want to do a script of less than 2 minutes, and I have a format. Now analyze this format and then produce something that comes in that form. You get okay?
It has to be 2 minutes.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, I also sent in the data that I was going to work with, and it was amazing. So
the result, the output now was better.
Of course, I mean, you're actually specific. My friend, there's this friend of mine, she's also a content creator. She always says this, and it's the truth. AI is like a human.
Yes, I've learned that over the time. When I'm trying to do something with ChatGPT, I'm like, hey, when I give the prompt, what can I do for you today? I'll be like, okay, so I have a show this weekend and I have a guest and we're talking about non-tech in tech. Give me an idea of the kind of conversation that we could have. So talking to AI, like conversing like a human being, I think that helps.
Yeah, and being very specific.
With what
if I tell you I want bread, you could go out there and probably buy bread from Iparud, any of these shops, these outlets. And I may not love to eat their kind of bread. But if I am specific, I'd be like, go to Tineris, get me sliced bread. Okay. That's what you bring. Okay. So
it's about
works,
being
being specific with your prompts.
Yeah. Okay, let's because of time, let's talk about what are the tools that someone that wants to go into content creation what are the basic tools? What are the basic tools and skill sets that such a person needs to be prepared for the opportunity?
First and foremost, I think it's the mindset, the readiness. I think that's the most important. Before you start looking at the tool, would you be able to do this week 1, week 2, week 3?
There's that place of consistency because content creation, I'm into this space too, so I understand what it means creating a video. Most times people don't really understand what it takes to put out just one content.
Seriously.
A minute video, to get a minute video out, you can actually take more than a day, more than 3 days.
I'm not capping. You're not even capping either.
Right? So how do you get that balance, and what keeps you going? Now you've talked about the mindset. What keeps you going? Just like the stress that you just went through today. What keeps you going?
I think I didn't answer the first question. I'm just going to merge the both of them. So, how to get started in this field or journey of content creation? First, just have that mindset. Be ready that this is something I want to venture into. And then the results is not going to just surface overnight. You need to like put in the work. So all you need is the mindset first, and then after that you need to put yourself out there. You can't be creating content and they are all locked inside of your gallery. No one sees it. I mean, how do you get recognized? How do you get to find people that would really want your service?
What if someone is an introvert that doesn't like all the camera stuff? So how does that work?
In 2025, there are so many ways you can create content.
without necessarily putting your face out.
You don't need to. There are the animations, there are the what's this? There's this particular content I came across the other time. Can't remember the name, but there's just so much you can do to put yourself out there without your face coming out. But then I don't know, but I feel personally that's one way to sell yourself like really quick. People like, no, this is the person behind this brand, behind.
Especially if you're as beautiful as you are, so you need to put it out there.
You know, right?
So that people can see. So you were going to answer the second question about what keeps you going, the stress, the challenges, editing videos, and all of that. What keeps you going?
Wow.
You can make a video because you were complaining today how you made a video and you are meant to submit that video before this show, and now you found out that one of the clips, something went wrong with it. How do you keep going in the midst of all of this?
I think it boils down to why you started this journey in the first place. I always tell people that the understanding of why is as important as going about that journey, going about the course of that journey. Personally, I have my goals as a content creator. I have my self-out goals, and let's say I encountered today's whole episode and I think I've had enough, let me quit. And then going back to my vision board, going back to my goals, how do I achieve it?
Get this done, right?
So I think having a why helps you. Don't just start this content creation journey. Don't just, whatever field, it mustn't be content creation, it could be anything, right? So you just decide, tell yourself, okay, these are my set out goals. This is the reason, specific reasons why I'm going about this course. Now that's in the long run. At times where you're so down, you're so frustrated, maybe it's not working, the results are not coming forth as fast as you want. These are things that encourage you. Like me personally, my goals are what inspire me to keep going despite all odds. I mean, I had times where I used to do so much that you check and you can't even see the results. I mean, I'm talking about as little results as engagement, online engagement. You can't see it there. Let's talk about clients coming to you to pay for your service, and you're like, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing?
So you really need to have that why and have it defined and keep going.
That's right.
Well, we've seen how content creation can actually be a gateway to a thriving career in tech, even as a non-technical person. Amazing insight shared here by Chinenye Mba. She is a content creator and a professional video editor and the content lead for Super Team NG Abia State. This conversation, maybe we'll have another session of this conversation where we'll be more specific, the way you give prompts to ChatGPT. But thank you so much for coming on the show today. It's been great having you.
It's my pleasure.
Of course, thank you so much for watching. You can catch up with a replay of this conversation on our YouTube channel, Spectrum Television, as well as videos from previous episodes. Thank you for being on the show today and for following us. My name is Samuel Ugochukwu. Bye for now.